Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another tier list video. I was just scrolling through tiermaker.com in the Pokemon category when I came across something I thought would be rather interesting, the Dragon-type Pokemon tier list maker. And there's way too many dragons for me to do my usual, how I normally do it, so we're just going to do it on the website here, and we are just going to go down the list. So starting off, we have Mega Charizard X. Now, for me, as much as I like Charizard, I feel like it's gotten too much. Like, it's gotten too big. Too much representation has been given to the non-dragon dragon type. Saying that, it still goes in the B tier. I do think it was really cool that they finally decided to give it the dragon type it clearly deserved. And up next, we have Alolan Exeggutor. I absolutely love this thing. And look, it's not even S tier. It goes in a tier of its own. It goes in double S tier. I absolutely love this thing. How do you do this website? There we go. Absolutely love it. It goes in the double S tier. Change that color. There we go. Love it. Love it. Nothing else. Well, some things might be up there with it, but I love Alolan Exeggutor. It is amazing. Up next is the Dratini line, and I really like the Dratini line. I feel like Dratini goes in the A tier. Dragonair kind of loses it a little bit. We'll stick it in the B tier, but Dragonite is an S tier for me. I really like it. There's just something about it that I really like. You know, it's very simple, a very simplistic design. I do like it. I don't like its shiny form, though. Thankfully, this isn't a shiny dragon tier list, because then this would go in an F tier. Ampharos is up next, and honestly, I gotta say, Ampharos, Mega Ampharos, goes in the B tier. I love its majestic locks, its very fluffy tail. I do enjoy it. Kingdra, on the other hand, as much as I like it, I don't like it as much as some of the other dragon types, so it's gonna go in the C tier. And that brings us with Mega Sceptile. Mega Sceptile is also going to go in the C tier. I love normal Sceptile, don't get me wrong. But I feel like they were just trying to... I feel like they just gave it Dragon type so more people would choose it, if I'm being honest. I mean, the other two Pokemon were dual types already, so they're like, hey, we got to make people choose Sceptile. Let's give it the Dragon type. Idea, cool, yes. I don't know if it should have been done, though, especially since they already did it with the Charizard as well, and Charizard was way more deserving than Sceptile for the Dragon type, in my opinion. Next, we got Vibrava. Vibrava's got to go in the D tier for me. It doesn't really look like a dragon. I mean, it is based off a dragonfly, but it wasn't that strong. Flygon as well. Flygon's going to go in the C tier. I love Flygon. I really wish they would have given it a Mega Evolution. I feel like it was just forgotten about. It's not too strong. You know what? I do like it. It's going to go up in the B tier. I really do like Flygon. I really wish they gave it more love. Alteria, on the other hand, will go in the C tier. It's interesting, yes. There's just something about it. I don't know. I don't like Alteria too much. It wasn't too strong. There wasn't anything, you know, fun to go with. It was just another dragon flying type. And then we have Mega Alteria here. And I think it's going to go in the D tier for me. There's just something about it. I don't know. I didn't like it. It became a dragon, what was it? Dragon fairy? Yeah, I just didn't like it. Oops, I changed the wrong type there. I was trying to, you know, make that there, and then we'll do this one. There we go. All right. Anyway, we needed the F tier. I just realized we didn't have the F tier. But now we have the Bagon line. And I will say I do like Bagon. Bagon? How do you guys pronounce that? I do like Bagon. Just not too much. Shelgon, absolute F tier. There's just something about it. But then Salamance, on the other hand, that's another S tier dragon type for me. I do really like the story of the Bagon line, where Sheldon it really wanted to fly, and it willed itself to grow wings. I really like, I don't know, there was just something about that story. I really liked it. Mega Salamance is going to go in the A tier. Sure, it looks cool, but I like the design of normal Salamence a lot more. Latios. Latios is up next, and Latios is going to go in the double S tier for me. Latios was like my favorite Pokemon back in Generation 3 when that first came out. Yeah, that's gonna go in the double S tier. Now, here's a hot take. I'm gonna do both Latios and Latios. I'm not a big fan of their Mega Evolutions. They look too similar, and they don't do too much. You know, normal forms are stronger because they can hold their items Soul Dew. It didn't make sense to use them as a Mega, especially with some other really strong Megas that were Dragon types. Latios, on the other hand, or Latios, it's gonna go in the B tier. Not as cool as his sister, in my opinion. Yeah, B tier for him. Rayquaza, that's another S tier for me, while Mega Rayquaza is a double S tier. As you may know, Mega Rayquaza was, or it probably still is, the strongest Pokemon, I would have to say. Just because it can Mega Evolve without having a Mega Evolution Stone, which means it still gets access to an item. I really love it. I love Rayquaza, especially Shiny Rayquaza. If this was a Shiny tier list, it would still be up there. And then Mega Rayquaza is also just a god tier Dragon Pokemon. Up next is the Gible line. And for me, Gible and Gabite both go in the C tier, and Garchomp goes in the A tier. Garchomp is a super cool Pokemon, but Gible and Gabite, they're not as strong. They're not as strong as their fully evolved form. You know, I mean, that's a given. But, you know what? No. B tier for Gible. I do like the Land Shark design. Gabite loses some points for me, but then it makes up for it when it evolves into Garchomp there. Mega Garchomp, on the other hand, honestly, it's going to go in the D tier. There's just something about Mega Garchomp I wasn't a huge fan of. I never used it back in the day. Yeah, D tier for Mega Garchomp. Now, thankfully, this list doesn't have the origin forms of Dialga and Palkia, because those would go straight to the F tier. I don't know what they were thinking with those. They're just not good. Now, for me, I like Dialga more than Palkia. So Dialga is going to go in the A tier, while Palkia goes in the D tier. It was just this, you know, conception I had when I was a kid. I liked the color blue more than I liked the color pink. And just over time, subconsciously, that caused me to like Dialga and dislike Palkia. Giratina, on the other hand. Giratina. Both of these are S tiers. Origin form is really cool. It was introduced in Platinum, and for those of you who don't know, Pokemon Platinum was the very first Pokemon game that I pre-ordered. In fact, I have the Origin form figurine sitting in front of me as we speak. Really love the Giratina and Giratina Origin form. You know what? I like the Origin form a bit more. It's not a double S tier, so I'm actually going to drop down Giratina to an A tier. Next we have, I believe it's, I forget the name. It's like, I know it's Fracture and Haxorus. I forget the name of this first guy here. I don't really like these Pokemon. They're not F tier. They're going to go straight to the D tier again. Gen 5 Dragon-type Pokemon I didn't really get attached to, so they are going to be lower than a good majority of the other Pokemon. Druddigon is straight F tier. I do not like Druddigon at all. Then we got, what is it, Dino, Hydreigon, and whatever. Again, I don't know Gen 5 too much. I do, however, really like Hydreigon. It's going to go up a tier from the other Gen 5 dragons. Now we have Reshram and Zekrom. They're going to both go in the C tier. They're really cool dragon-type Pokemon. Same with Kyurem. But I think where they really shine are their black and white 2 forms. The Kyurem, I think Kyurem White and Kyurem Black. Those go in the B tier. Those are really cool. I don't think we've ever seen... Well, nope, I take that back. Generation 7, we had them fusing again. But fusing 2 Pokemon together, I think, is a really cool concept that I wish more Pokemon would do. even if they're not legendary. Then we got like Dragalge. Is that how it's pronounced? Very disappointing Pokemon. That's going to go in the F tier as well. There's, it doesn't scream dragon, right? Not a big fan of it. Same thing with Tyrunt. Tyrunt's going to go in the F tier, but I do like its evolution a lot more. That's going to go in the C tier. Now we have some meme dragon Pokemon. Goomy. Goomy is going in the double S tier. Sliggoo kind of drops off a little bit. We'll put him in the B tier, but Goodra then goes in the A tier. I love Goomy, all right? There's just something about him. I love it. I love it. I don't like Sliggoo too much because the only way to evolve it into Goodra is to find a place that's raining and level it up after it's like level 48 or something, and then it'll evolve into Goodra, and sometimes weather can be finicky. Next, we have Noivern and Noibat. And Noibat, not a big fan of. But Noivern, I remember building a team around Noivern back in Generation 6. So that's going to go in the S tier. I really like Noivern. Zygarde is up next. And Zygarde was one of those Pokemon in Generation 5 or Generation 6 that you could have done without. And then, was it 6? Yeah, and then in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, I believe it was, is when they started introducing the new forms. I don't like the 10% form, but I do like the complete form. If you guys have ever tried to shiny hunt Zygarde in Pokemon Sword, you've probably, lost to this thing 1,000 times. It is a hard Pokemon to go up against. Super strong Pokemon too, which is why you can only get the complete form with a normal Zygarde, and it hits 50% HP. I love it. Then we have Tertinator. Tertinator's another weird Dragon-type Pokemon. Same with Drampa. They were both version exclusives that I just didn't like too much. So both of those are going to go in the F tier. Now we have, what is it, Jangmo-o, Hackmo-o, and I forget the names of these. Like, if I see the name, I can pick them out. These ones, they were interesting Pokemon. They didn't really, grow on me too much, so we got 2 of them in the D tier and the final evolution, which I always thought was the coolest in the C tier. Guzzlord. Guzzlord. I love Guzzlord. It goes in the A tier. The fact that it's just this Pokemon that eats everything in its way, I love it. I love it. Then we have Necrozma Ultimate Form, and I never really used this Pokemon. So it's gonna go in the D tier. I never liked using it. I thought Necrozma was very weird of a Pokemon, especially since you got it Sun and Ultra Moon. It was just randomly sitting there. Like, you defeat it, and then it's just randomly sitting there as you're going up to challenge the Elite Four. Very weird. C tier for Nagano. I forget how it's pronounced. C tier for that. Really cool Pokemon, but you can only get one, and it wasn't all that strong. And Poison is not a good type. It really isn't. Flapple on the other hand is, or not, Applin, not Flapple. Flapple's the evolutions. Applin on the other hand, that's gonna be an A tier, where its evolutions are both C tier, and I didn't really like its Dynamax form or Gigantamax form, so that's gonna go in the F tier. Now we have Dracozolt and Arctovish, or no, Dracovish and Dracozolt? Yeah. Dracozolt, F tier. Dracovish, double S tier. I love this thing. It was so strong back at the beginning of Sword and Shield. You just Choice Scarf, Vicious Rend, and you would one-shot almost anything. It defined the meta for a little bit. I loved it. Duraludon. Duraludon's gonna go in the C tier. It's and its Gigantamax form is gonna go in the B tier. I love the fact that it just turns into a giant skyscraper. Dreepy's gonna go in the A tier along with its evolution, but Dragapult's gonna go in the S tier. I remember spending a couple of hours hunting for Dreepy so I could get Dragapult in Sword and Shield. And now that leaves us with Eternatus. I don't feel strongly one way or the other, so I'm just going to put it in the C tier. You can't really get its, Gigantamax form. So I'm just going to throw it in the F tier. It's not that I dislike it, it's just you can't obtain it. And then last but not least, we have Reggie Draco, who is going to go in the B tier. I thought it was an interesting idea to include a dragon type in the Reggies. I just wish they did a little bit more with it. But yeah, that is my tier list for the dragon types. If there are any other types that you would want me to make a tier list of, let me know in the comments down below. Yeah, there's my tier list. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.